Welcome everybody. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for those who took the time to vote, not just for me but for everybody. And I also want to thank, Mike, that's that old chestnut. Thank you also for Peter for setting this up, because you make us feel very welcome and very easy to come up here and talk. Thank you. So we've got just 5 minutes, we're probably 4.5 now. So I would like to just talk about one thing really, and that is one of the reasons of why I think that deploying Agile is ultimately self-defeating. So having such an opinion in an Agile conference is a little bit risky, but I thought I'd share with you some of my experiences over the last few years. So I'd like to take the aspect of self-organisation. So looking at the Agile Manifesto and through common sense and experience, we can see that self-organisation and making a decision at the point of work is most effective when solving complex adaptive problems. So if we would take this solutions rather than architectures, requirements and designs, because we're looking a bit further than technology into the whole business. So one of the things that comes up time and time again throughout the training that I do and through the conferences and also polls is that leadership. So leadership, how do we engage in leadership? How do we sell to them? How do we get them to do what we want? And that kind of thing. And I think that we've got that the wrong way round. So how many people here feel that they like being sold to? So take Saturday morning, it's Sunday morning, you get a phone call, you pick it up, and someone's trying to sell you insurance or air conditioning or a holiday. How does that make you feel? Is that good? What's the typical response, right? Yeah, not good, right? No one wants that. And that's what we do to our leadership. We're trying to sell them our agenda of Agile. And typically when that happens, we get the response. Thank you very much. So if you work with exec teams, then you'll probably find that the amount that exec teams care about Agile is about 0. That's about how much they care about Agile. What they're looking for is business results. They're looking to increase to make their businesses better and to get better results for their companies. So what we're looking for is perhaps using Agile to achieve that, but then that becomes very difficult. So what happens is that when we try to introduce Agile, we end up with this reinforcing loop. So this happens in all organizations. We have leadership. We can't do anything without leadership. We need to start with leadership, because without that, we can't make decisions around structure, we can't influence things. If we haven't got leadership on board, we're going to reach very quickly a limit on how far we can improve the business. But leadership are pretty much stuck. If you work with the exec, often they don't have as much influence as we would like. The reason for that is because they're stuck by the culture that they work in, and culture follows structure. So we have a reinforcing loop, which is very hard to break. Luckily, there are some levers in which we can slowly manipulate this very tight reinforcing loop. The first one is that we have pressure on our leadership. This is the things we talk about in Agile as fast-changing markets, difficult problems to solve. So when we approach leadership, we need to approach them in a way of helping them solve those problems. Now let's assume we've done that, and they want us to help, and all's good, and now we're going to think, okay, fantastic, we've got a bit of a scope to do something. We can change some structure. If we then go and deploy an Agile framework, we go and deploy our experts as coaches' belief, we're doing exactly the same thing to the teams. We're saying, hey, here's a safe framework, here's a less framework, whatever it is, we're going to deploy that on top of you, and you're going to do what we say because we know better than you. Again, we're doing the same thing. We're selling to everyone else, and what we're doing is we create a secondary loop of resistance. And this is a coaching opportunity for us, because resistance gives us a set of beliefs, a set of values underneath, but it's a hard road. And if we create the resistance by keep on pushing these frameworks, we keep on pushing our expert opinion, then what we're going to do is we're going to keep going around this cycle of resistance and coaching and resistance and coaching. Instead, what I'd like to propose is that we start using large-scale facilitation to create around the value stream of products, to allow teams to design their own frameworks, their own ways of working, and for that we can use something like action research or the 4-step plan, and we slowly do incremental changes that the people designing the experiments are the people who are working in the experiments themselves, and we increment slowly towards enterprise agility. Thank you very much.